minutes in total to present. So we have 5 minutes for the presentation and 5 minutes for the Q&A. You can use a bit more time if you need for the presentation, but please know that at 3 minutes from the end of your presentation, I will just intervene if you didn't finish to just remind you that you have 3 minutes left in your presentation. So as I said before, you can present either in English and in Russian. And if you prefer to share the presentation on the screen, just let us know in advance. Otherwise, Baljan, our coordinator, will share your content through her screen. So you don't. Each presentation will have 2 Q&A, and we will be as brief as possible for the questions that will be asked for you. So who do we have on the jury team today? Next slide, please. Can you hear me? Thank you. So for the jury today, I would like to welcome of the Department of Science and Development of Scientific and Technical Research within the Ministry of Innovative Development of the Republic of Uzbekistan. Next. I would also like to welcome Lin Zhu, who is an investor relations manager, Start Life Agri-Food Tech, but she has worked at Innovation Industry, Flagship Pioneering, and Harvard Office of Technology of Development. I would like also to welcome Nagaraja Rao Harshadip, that probably many of you already know. Harsh is a global lead at the Disruptive Tech Department at the World Bank. He has over 24 years experience at the World Bank and leading several environmental, water, and natural resources operations. He's also a lead of the Disruptive Kids. The Kids means knowledge, information, data services. It's a help desk to provide support to operational teams on modern technologies. Then we have Hamid Alibiek. Welcome to you, ET, and the Chief of Staff to the CEO at the Plug and Play Tech Center. He held positions such as Managing Director of Energy and the Chief of Staff and the CEO of the Plug and Play Tech Center. And he's now currently in charge of global growth of the platform in energy and sustainability. And finally, I would like to welcome Daulet Beymurzinov, who is a Senior Manager of the Educational Program Office at the Astana Hub. Previously, he was actually a Manager of Incubation and Acceleration Program, also at the Astana Hub. So again, thanks to Ellie, and without waiting, let's start with our first presentation. Let's welcome Sentinels for Sustainable Pasture Management application in the RLC region in Central Asia. Emmanuel, the floor is yours. Let us know when you are ready. Let us know when you're ready.
I would also like to share my screen. So, okay. Can you see it?
Yes.
Okay.
We can see it. But you can make it full screen.
Yes. Okay.
Right.
Can I start?
When you're ready, yes.
Yes. Okay. Okay.
Good.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the presentation of SensePAP. I'm Emmanuel Tsiros, remote sensing expert in Carteco, and I'm very proud to be here and present our innovative solution for sustainable pasture management. Let me start by introducing the rest members of our team. Dimitra Rapti, our rangeland expert, Ioannis Kapanidis, our IT expert, and Apostolos Karteris, our business development expert. We are all co-workers in Karteko, and we all share the same passion of bringing innovative solutions into real-life problems. You may ask yourselves why these guys target pastures for restoring landscapes in the Aral Sea region. In Central Asia, rangelands cover 65% of the total area. And the Aral Sea region has a long history in pastoralism. Rangeland degradation in Central Asia has been dramatic, affecting the livelihood of local populations. That's why restoration of degraded pastures is essential for landscape restoration in the region. To do so, stakeholders need updated information to take decisions about sustainable pasture management, and tools providing such information are missing for the targeted area. This is what we want to come and fill in. SensePy is your tool for sustainable pasture management. It provides up-to-date information regarding forage production, grazing capacity, plant cover, and pasture condition. Users can integrate their own data so we can develop site-specific models and take into account the particularities of each region. It is a cost-efficient solution because it's using freely available satellite data, and it uses field visits which are time and labor consuming. Monitoring cost has been estimated to be reduced up to 80% by the use of the tool. The tool is already working in Ismaili and Semahi districts in Azerbaijan. I don't want to get technical here. I just want to give you an overview how the tool works. Freely available satellite data are combined with users' field measurements in order our experts to derive site-specific models and train the system to produce pasture-related products by using only satellite images. The system is hosted in the EO Merlin platform of GMB, having unprecedented processing resources. Interaction with users is accomplished by a user-friendly and very easy-to-use interface. Who can use it? A very wide range of users covering all groups of the pasture management and monitoring ecosystem, namely governmental authorities, decision makers, and policy makers to assist the decision making and planning of pasture management and restoration strategies. Livestock farmers and farmer unions to assist managing herds more efficiently. Industry to get more information on status of pastures and livestock production. Intergovernmental organizations and non-governmental organizations to facilitate monitoring of rangeland conditions and coverage. And last but not least, the scientific community to retrieve data and facilitate research. Key target audience are the livestock farmers who most of the times don't have access to such information. As a highlight, I would like to present the grazing calculator of the SensePy tool. The grazing calculator provides simplified information for pastoralists. It's very easy to use. There are 3 simple steps. Select area of interest, select the year, select the grazing season, and by clicking a button, it calculates grazing. And now our farmer is happy. We really believe in our system. It is an innovative tool supporting sustainable pasture management using up-to-date information and site-specific models. It's cost-efficient, web-based service, approachable from everywhere, and based on the exploitation of open Earth observation data. Such tools, as I said, are missing for the targeted area, and our system has already been tested and verified in real-life conditions and already working in 2 pilot regions. A business model is already in place, and we want to win this challenge to boost the promotion of the SensePy tool and advance its application to the Aral Sea region. Closing, I would like to stress that the use of the tool will result in socioeconomic and environmental benefits. Locally adapted sustainable pasture management will contribute to reach 5 the following UN Sustainable Development Goals by addressing past degradation and contributing to landscape restoration, optimizing animal production, and reducing costs, increasing household income, employment, and investment. So let's go and make grasslands greener in the RLC region. Thank you for your time, and don't forget to follow us on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Emmanuel. Very interesting presentation. Let's go straight to the question and answers. And I will let Lynn. Linju, would you like to ask a question? We cannot hear you. Let me unmute you.
Yes, we cannot hear you.
Lynn, we cannot hear you. Can you unmute your microphone?
Oh, sorry. I said thank you for your presentation. Very impressive, very nice proposition. My question is on one of your customer group you focus is farmers. And then have you validated with those farmers? And then what is your uniqueness in their eyes to use your solution?
First of all, as I said, there is no similar solution right now. So this is an information needed for farmers that right now is not provided to them. We're trying to make it as user-friendly as possible, as you saw, so farmers can use it from their mobile phones very easily and get access to this information. I'm not sure if I covered your question.
Yeah, it sounds good. If you can tell me if you have talked to farmers, how many of them?
Yes, we have talked to farmers, to the pilot regions that we developed and have the first pilot use of the system. We talked to farmer unions that were great groups of livestock farmers in two districts, the Ismaili and Semaki district. We also had along the Agricultural Research Center of the Ministry of Agriculture of Azerbaijan, who also helped us a lot in reaching these stakeholders, reaching the farmer unions. And let's say the acceptance was really great because the information was simplified. We were telling them how much forage is available and how many animals they can go there to graze and for how long.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We have time for another question, and I would like to ask Dr. Shuhrat Osolajonov to ask a question. Shuhrat, can you hear us?
Yeah. Did you work with farmers from Uzbekistan and Kazakhstan as well, included in your data?
No. And that's why we really want to win this and promote the system. Local synergies are very important because we also need the user's data. We need field measurements in order to train the system. And this is a really important step of implementing the project in a new area, the stakeholder engagement and talking to the farmers and other end users in the area.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, and on time for the end of your presentation and Q&A. Congratulations again.
Thank you.
I think we are now ready to go to this. You're welcome, Emmanuel. Let's go now to the second presentation. And let's welcome the team for the project on using big data sentiment analysis technology to improve landscape restoration efforts. Please, team, if you are connected.
Yes. Hi,
let us know when you are ready.
Yes, we're ready. I'll be delivering the presentation. If you could just make the presentation full screen. Thank you. So I'll get started. My name is Sharanya. I'm the manager of operations and senior analyst at Hill House, and our project aims to use big data sentiment analysis technology to improve landscape restoration efforts. Next slide, please. Allow me to introduce Hill House's young, dynamic, and diverse team. I will be a master's student at Yale this fall onwards and have 4 years experience at the Carnegie Endowment's India Center. Tiffany and Matt co-founded Hill House while they were both master's students. Tiffany has prior Chinese policy advisory experience, and Matt has 10 years of field experience in post-conflict society. Cece is our research advisor. She received her PhD from Oxford and has consulted on several projects with multilateral institutions. Next slide, please. Now let's take a quick look at the problem we aim to solve. More often than not, local, regional, and international actors have limited visibility into the local perceptions of their work, even though restoration efforts should be grounded in the local context. This results in gaps in understanding the most important beneficiaries, the local residents these organizations are trying to help. And this in turn reduces the impact of programs because they didn't take into account subtle local and regional opinion trends. Next slide, please. Our startup can solve this critical gap in development and restoration work. Our solution is a customized sentiment analysis tool focused on the RLC that measures changes in local sentiment by country, time period, organization, and keyword. We can provide a feedback mechanism through which restoration efforts factor in near real-time local perceptions of ongoing work instead of overlooking them. Next slide, please. How does this work? Our startup's tool uses big data to analyze probabilities and changes in language patterns across Central Asian media reports. At present, we have the beta version of our tool, which includes 3 million news articles from 31 regional Russian language news sources over the past 16 years. Next slide, please. Here's an example that demonstrates the insight our tool provides. Let's take a look at this chart. It shows sentiment toward restoration efforts supported by the World Bank. The peaks in the graph relate to projects that were executed well and the promise of future funding, but we're not going to talk about that today. We are going to talk about the other points in the graph that reflect variations in sentiment towards the second phase of the Sieve Darya Control and North RLC project. In 2012, when the feasibility study was on, at the beginning of the graph, you can see that sentiment was very lukewarm at just 0.56, as reports highlighted the complexity of World Bank procedures. Cut to 2014, the agreement for phase 2 was signed and sentiment improved to 0.73. But then in 2018, 4 years later, sentiment dropped to 0.66 as reports suggested that Kazakhstan expected more funding. The World Bank funded 50% of the cost, but was apparently expected to fund 85% earlier. And in sum, this preliminary chart demonstrates how sentiment trends indicate local expectations from restoration projects. Next slide, please. Who can benefit from using our tool? Our market is split across 3 broad levels. At each level, this slide highlights specific stakeholders who can use our tool. Nationally, this includes ministries, government agencies, commercial actors, as well as underserved environmental NGOs. Regionally, our market includes organizations like the International Fund for Saving the RLC and the Interstate Commission for Water Coordination. And internationally, our market includes UN agencies, the World Bank, and other international financial institutions, development agencies such as GIZ, international NGOs, as well as research centers. Next slide, please. How are we different from our competition? Let's take a look at this chart that shows what we found after comprehensive market research on sentiment analysis companies in the region and around the world. We found that there is a critical gap when it comes to conducting impact assessment on a sectoral level to gauge how policies and programs, not public relations activities, impact local sentiment. And our startup fills this gap. Next slide, please. To succeed, we have a solid plan with 3 phases. We've completed phase 1, we have a beta tool and have achieved our first paying client. We're currently in phase 2 seeking financing to develop version 1 of our tool that you can see in the slide. If you were to win this challenge, the prize money will help us develop this. Finally, in phase 3, we will develop new tools for new clients. This is possible because our tool scrapes all data, not just those related to the RLC. Next slide, please. How will this be profitable? The prize money from this challenge will help meet our capital cost, which we'll spend on our dashboard and data collection. the subscription fees that we charge organizations to access our dashboard will help us meet our variable costs, which includes expansion of the media sources we use, etc. In addition to the dashboards, our business offerings include custom reports on past trends and future fluctuations. This, coupled with our low overheads, will help us achieve profitability in every client engagement. Next slide, please. So this brings me to the end of our pitch. Thank you so much for your time. I look forward to your questions.
Thank you so much, Sharanya. Very nice presentation.
Thank you.
So let's go to the Q&A. Thanks. I would like to ask Amit Adibiek to ask a question for you.
Thank you so much. Yes, thank you so much. A very nice presentation. I'm curious to know if you have tried this method in any other commercial projects, and how was the results of those projects?
Yes, absolutely. So given the fact that, our tool scrapes data for everything covered in Central Asian media reports, its applications aren't just limited to the RLC, like I mentioned earlier. So we have actually been working on several other projects, and our first paying client was actually the Center for International Private Enterprise, and we're currently working on a project with them on disinformation and using our sentiment analysis tool to check how different media sources cover different issues, to look at how disinformation sort of functions in Central Asia.
Great, thanks. And is it like what is your vision? Is it the business is profitable, or how you will make money?
So so I've already shown you the profit equation, but beyond that, what I would like to highlight is we're not here to become like a billion-dollar enterprise. Our aim is that basically there are these technologies like sentiment analysis tools based on machine learning and big data that already exist. Our aim is to sort of tailor that for the policy space, and because all of us have significant policy experience. So to tailor that for the policy space to basically fulfill this critical need that we have identified. And the way that we'll make money is by having multiple clients, layering them one on top of the other to basically make sure that, we still make a profit and we can grow as a business.
Yeah, and your target, basically it's the government entities or local?
So it's everyone, every organization that is involved in some restoration projects. So that includes the government, but it also includes the private sector. For instance, while preparing for this, we have been in touch with the American Uzbekistan Chamber of Commerce, because they have a great network of private sector companies in the region. So we basically we're sort of our target audience is governments, international organizations, underserved environmental NGOs that may not be using sentiment analysis tools for their work, as well as private sector clients.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Hamid and Sharanya. So we have maybe a bit more time for last question, and I would like to ask Dawlet to ask his question.
Okay.
Dawlet, the floor is yours.
Hi, thank you for presentation. My question is about your market. Did you count what kind of companies in Kazakhstan can buy your solution here?
Yes, so we did look at organizations in the so your question is about the clients, right?
Yes.
So yes, we basically in our market research, we came across consulting firms, advisory companies, as well as especially the government sector that is involved in a large part of the restoration projects in the region. They are who we've identified as clients, because our aim is that as they roll out programs and projects, we want that to be grounded in a knowledge of the local context and what everyone perceives their past work to be, and to tailor existing projects based on, in near real time to make micro tweaks as programming is rolled out.
Okay, thank you. Good luck.
Thank you so much. Great and perfectly on time. Fantastic work. So I think we can now move to the next team, and let's welcome on our virtual stage the project for Pro Access, which provides open access information services for better land and water management. Anne-Marie, the floor is yours. Let us know when you are ready. I cannot hear you, I'm afraid.
Anna-Marie, let me share your presentation from my end.
Anne-Marie, I think you are muted. We cannot hear you. Hello?
Yes, hello? Can you hear me now?
Now we can hear.
Yeah,
Yes,
sorry.
perfect.
While I was sharing, everything froze. Sorry about that. I'm ready.
Great. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Okay, dear jury, dear audience, thank you for this opportunity to present our ideas. My name is Annemarie Klaassen, and I prepared this work together with my colleague Roland. We both work at eLeaf, and that is a service provider based in Wageningen, the Netherlands, specialized in using satellite information for agriculture and water management. Let me see how to move my slides. Yes, now it's moving. So I want to present our tool Pro Access, and that's about providing open access information services based on satellite data. And our aim is to support decision makers. I'm not sure what is happening, but I'm not sharing the right presentation. Well, I just go on. Could you please go back to the past slide? I thought I was sharing myself, but okay. This was my old presentation, but well, let's continue. So we want to support decision makers taking decisions, taking informed decisions. But what you see is that taking the right decision is complicated and requires good information, and often the information that is available is incomplete, old, inconsistent in how it is collected, and very many times it's only available for a limited number of locations. Next slide, please. So disruptive technologies, yeah, I'm sorry, but my presentation is not the one that I sent. So it's my preparation is a bit mixed up.
Okay. Fine. Let's stop the time for now.
Yeah, well, I can continue, but it was my old one. So it's a bit mixed up.
Yeah. So let's start from the scratch with the last presentation you have on your screen, or if you feel more comfortable with sharing now.
Yeah, sorry about this. I will share my screen. I hope you can see the presentation now.
Can we put the time back to 0, please?
Well, you don't need to put it back to 0. I can start from where I was left, but yeah, it's a bit confusing. But I'm not sure if I'm sharing my screen now.
I see the screen, I think.
Okay,
yes, sharing the screen.
And you are seeing the full screen or just my slides?
Your slides. Okay. Your slides, yes.
Yeah, well, I just continue.
Let's start over better, because otherwise I think everybody will be confused. So no worries.
Okay, I will start from here. Sorry about this.
No worries. Let us know when you are ready to start back with your good presentation.
No, please go. Well, I skipped my introduction. But, what I was planning to show you is how we can support decision makers in natural resource management. And we have aiming to support all kinds of decision makers, because a decision maker is someone working at the government, someone managing a basin, but also a farmer or a donor or investor or irrigation operators. And all these decisions take information. And what you see is that this information that they are having is often outdated, or it's fragmented or inconsistent. For example, it's only for one certain year or the past year, or for certain locations. And what you're missing is the complete overview. So what we want to propose is to use satellite Earth observation and to support informed decision making as an extra source of information. So it's not to replace the existing data sets, but to get a more complete picture. And what you see with satellite data, it's very scalable, which means that you can use it at field scale for a farmer, but you can also use it at continental or global scale for high-level decision makers. It's consistent of space and time, so you're not dependent on who is measuring, or you can see different countries in the same way. It provides historical time series, so you can see what happened in the past, but it's also up to date. You can see what happened yesterday, or sometimes even today. And it's easy to integrate with other data sets because it always has a time and a location. And yeah, the past 10 years, the availability of satellite data has increased incredibly. So what we want to propose is an ecosystem of satellite data, analytics and services. It has three components. The first component is the database. And that is a database with open access satellite data products. That can be all kinds of data products. Then there are the analytical tools, which are ready-to-go scripts and tools to help users extract information from the satellite data products, which are raster data. And then there are customized tools that are really developed for specific users and addressing a specific need and question. And together, these components support informed decision-making for landscape restoration, integrated water resource management, and natural resource management. So for the database, we propose to follow the model of the FAO-WAPO database. This is a database funded by the government of the Netherlands, and it provides open access data on water productivity for Africa and the Near East. And what you see that donors and governments, they need to identify what are the priority teams and areas for investment and management decisions. But yeah, they often rely on these incomplete or fragmented data sets that are usually not available at large scale. So they might be available for one country or one city, but not for the entire country in the same way. So the FAO-WAPO database provides all kinds of different data sets like water consumption, precipitation, biomass production from 2009 to present for the entire continent. So it's a huge data set that everyone can use, and you can do all kinds of analysis there. Then we propose to build all kinds of different tools that people need to interpret and analyze the satellite data. And the idea is that it are open source tools, so people do not have to replicate things and build it all by themselves, but people can share their tooling. An example of such an analytical tool is the Water Accounting Plus framework, and that it shows, let's say, natural resource managers to plan and implement water landscape restoration processes and distribute the resources, for example, water resources, in a sustainable way. And I also included here a map of different countries in Central Asia, and you see how the actual evapotranspiration is distributed over different administrative areas. So this is no longer the raster image, but it is a summary for each area. And then there is Foodloop, which is an example of the customized service. And this shows how farmers can use satellite data to provide the right amount of inputs at the right time. And as one user said, it will enable producers to micromanage on a bigger scale. So what we are aiming for is to provide, make satellite data available and translate into usable information for anyone, and not with the intention to replace existing data, but to amend it, to supplement it, and to broaden the tool sets available for decision-making in natural resource management. To make this happen, we need governments and investors supporting this idea, so we can develop this ecosystem with information service for in partnership with the countries in Central Asia and hopefully the World Bank. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Anne-Marie, and really well done for your presentation. I would like to ask Harsh for a question. Harsh, the floor is yours.
Sure. Thanks a lot, Menon, and thanks a lot, Anna-Marie. Great to see you again and see this idea for Central Asia. As you know, we're big fans of disruptive technology, not the kind when presentations become a problem, but in terms of using a lot of these kinds of data sets for helping people move up the data value chain from data to information to knowledge to decision support. And in Central Asia, they've done lots of beginnings on this, like CASIP and so on, for a lot of the climate-related information. I just have a question on the term open access, because by definition, open access data would be freely available online in the public domain in appropriate formats and so on, without any licensing and so on. So how would this work in terms of a business model for you? In terms of the prize money here is not that much. So in terms of what are you thinking about in terms of scaling up the development of such platforms? And where do you see the need for new development compared to systems that are already there?
Yeah. Yeah, I think the business model is basically similar to the WAPOR database, where one government pays for the data, that's the Dutch government, and FAO is implementing it. So they are maintaining the system and overviewing it and making sure the quality is okay. But they then hired two companies, us and Vito, to produce the data. So the business model is basically still that someone is paying for the data, but the person that is, or entity that's paying for the data makes it available to anyone. So there is no exclusive contract anymore.
In addition to the data, there's also the issue of analytics and hosting and things like that, right? So, for example, at the bank, I lead some of our hydroinformatics work, and one of the things we are doing is to see if we can leverage existing services such as Google Earth Engine and so on, which already suck up a lot of the free data services that are there, in order to then leverage their API to be able to do such activities. Are you planning to do these, or are you planning to create some other system where these data would be hosted and analyzed? Because of WAPOR data, which we're big fans of also, currently exists even at a course level only for Africa and the Middle East. It doesn't exist for the rest of the world. So it'll probably take a lot of effort to expand it to the Central Asia region.
Well, it will take a lot of effort, but it is the idea. Everybody wants to expand the WAPOR database, and Central Asia is the most obvious choice because it has the issues that are relevant, what the scarcity and agriculture, and it is very suitable for the type of technology. In terms of storing or sharing the open source tools, I would think using something like a GitHub, and then a website where people have the overview, so where you can find things. A lot of things are already happening. I think it's more about building something that brings it all together for Central Asia and helps people to select the right data set and also know why to choose a certain data set or not. Because there is a lot of data around, but it's a bit of like a jungle. It's difficult to make the right selection and to use the right tool.
And finally,
support people.
Sorry.
I just want to maybe. Yeah. Sorry, Harsh. I just need to ask a last question to Lynn, but I'm not sure if she will have time to give her question. Lynn, would you like
have a very quick one if there's still time. Basically, how do you see your implementation side? You said everyone can use. but for this type of technology, it's highly sophisticated in terms of interpreting the data.
Yeah, I think it totally depends on the user. The customized tools are for people that do not have no experience in working with data sets. It's really a ready-made information product. The tools are for people that have some experience, and the database is really for the people that work with raster data and GIS data sets.
Thank you, Anne-Marie. I'm really sorry. I need to get you.
Sorry for
the time is finished, but no worries. Thank you so much.
Thanks to you. Good luck.
Let's move to the third presentation for now.
Hello.
So let's welcome the team of Maxat and Timur on the project on remote sensing of degraded lands using drones to monitor the quality of the product. So dear team, the floor is yours. I'm not sure who is presented. No, is it Timur?
Hello. Hello, no, it's me. My name is Aseta. I'm also from the Maxat's team. Can I share my slides, please?
Sure, please go ahead with your deck.
Okay. Do you see my slides?
Now, yes.
Do you see my slides? Yes. Okay.
Yes,
I do.
Okay.
Hello,
everyone. Hello, the dear jury members and project participants. Today, firstly, I want to say thank you for the fact that ordinary guys from Kazakhstan have the opportunity to present their idea of saving the Aral region. The Aral region has experienced one of the greatest environmental disasters in recent history. Once was the fourth largest sea in the world, about 75% dried up and becomes an ecological disaster zone. Due to wrong actions of the Soviet Union leadership in the region, with 62 million population felt in terrible consequences, such as soil and water pollution, wind and water erosion, overgrazing of cattle has reduced pastures, biodiversity in region has declined sharply, and land use of various territories has become unusable. The local population of the Aral Sea suffers from the desertification and decline of irrigated land suitable for agriculture. And agriculture in this region, as we know, is the main source of income for people, is the key for their survival. How can we help all these people? We propose the remotely sense of the lands of the Aral farmers using spatial drones equipped with sensors and cameras. At the output, interactive maps will be created where each farmer will get necessary information about his land, his harvest, which will allow him to effectively use it. What can we do? We can explore land parcels and create orthophoto plans. We can create 2D and 3D interactive maps. We can monitor crops and determine NDVI or other indexes. Also, we can help in efficient management of the agricultural jobs. Our Avia Park consists of 10 industrial drones of two types. They are multi-rotor drones and aircraft systems. These drones are equipped with spatial professional cameras and sensors to perform various tasks. Cameras and sensors that we use are professional equipment, and you cannot buy in regular store. It's very specific, as you see on the slide. And how it works. First of all, we do the aerial photography of the required piece of land. All data automatically is sent in real time to the ground station and further processed by analytical software. Then all data is visualized and placed on interactive maps. An online portal will be created to provide the access to farmers to these maps. For example, we done the pilot project as a part of pilot project on 120 hectare plot with alfalfa. We carried out an analysis of vegetation state and developed the special recommendations that allow to reduce the cost of chemical fertilizers and increase the yields by 30% from 550 tons to 715 tons. It's become like increased yield like in 30%. This slide is shown example for digital mapping, especially NDVI vegetation index. This photo was obtained by a multispectral camera during the flight, and we identified the zones of experiencing vegetation stress. As you can see, the green color is the normal crops, and red color is zones which experiencing the vegetative stress. Also, this is a example of the orthophoto plan. This slide shows an example of electronic map orthophoto plan. Due to the high resolution of cameras, it is possible to see small objects up to 2 centimeters. If common drones have sensors installed like 20x optical zoom, our sensors have 180x optical zooms, so that you can see the smaller objects in the land. Here we get an example of 3D map with definition of the level of slope and the fields and its tilt degree. Also, we can use our drones to monitor cattle in automatic mode. This too will facilitate the farmers' work and make their life easier. This slide, I want to show you the software that we use in our projects. And thank you for your attention. I'm finished. If you have any questions, I will answer it for pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Asset. Really well done. So let's give a question to Hamid.
Thank you so much. Very nice presentation, and definitely is a great tool for farmers and growers. But the question that I have is how you can apply this method to the RLC challenge and how you can make profit out of it.
So we can make our area photography for the local farmers and share with them the information for free. And also we can involve the big enterprises to the project and can sell them, subscribe for these maps, and it will be like this.
Very good. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. I would like to ask Violet to ask a question right now.
Yeah, thank you, Manun. I said happy to see you first of all. Good presentation. My question is very easy about your future plans. What are you planning to do after having support from World Bank? And can you explain us about future plans of your project, please?
Future plan of our project, if we will win this challenge, we will go to the Aral. Now we are working in Almaty region. We have good experience in this with local farmers. So we want to share this experience into the Aral region farmers, and after that to all Kazakhstan, maybe to whole world if we can. So that's why.
Cool.
Thank you so
cool.
much.
I think that.
Questions.
Thank you.
Yes,
You're welcome.
Maybe Hamid, would you like to ask another question?
Yes, sure. I'm wondering about the results of your other pilots. Could you please share with us, like I know that you shared some pilots or some commercial projects that you're doing. What were the results? That would be great if you could share that.
You mean you want to share me after challenge or what, or now?
No. Like, what was the impact of this? Like, for example, if you can elaborate more a little bit.
Yes.
How the farmer could benefit from this. That would be great.
This, especially you can see this pilot project was the area is like 120 hectare. It's Almaty farmers and they grow alfalfa. So we make them vegetative analysis and give them recommendation. And after that, they reduce the cost on chemical treatment up to 20% and increase the yields up to 30%. So we have all these data. If you want, we can share with you after we finish the
thank you so much. That's a great result. Very good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your questions.
Thank you. I know it's a very limited time, but if there's a very short question or comment before we close, go ahead.
Yeah, I want to add one thing that I said we can help you with developing of your project. That's why I applied the acceleration program of Astana Hub.
Oh.
And we will try to help you with developing, and our mentors and experts, I think, that can give you their feedback about your product.
Okay, thank you so much, Davlet. We will contact you.
Good luck. Good luck.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. That's an amazing job. So now let's move to the next team, and let's welcome on our virtual stage. Just need to stop sharing the screen, maybe Asset. Yeah, great. Just takes a bit of time. Can you hear me, Baljan? We cannot see your screen.
Yeah, give me a second.
We still cannot see your screen. Baljan, we still have a technical issue with your screen, I think.
Can you see it now?
Just a minute, team. Okay, we are good.
Okay.
Yes, thank you so much. So let us now welcome on our virtual stage the Iroko project, which is about artificial intelligence and protection of the RLC. So, dear Salyu, the floor is yours. Let us know when you are ready. And I guess we are sharing your content, but if you would like to share yours, let us know. And we cannot hear you.
Okay, thank you, Manon. I will let you share the slides, and I'm ready.
Great. We can hear you now. All is set.
Okay, thank you very much for being here and to give us this opportunity to present you Iroko. Iroko is a new paradigm to protect the RLC, and let's write the future of the RLC together. Next slide. slide. Thank you. Iroko is a global carbon compensation program and a social and technology innovation. We developed the first mobile app that calculates carbon footprint and plant trees around the world. Today, we are a unique solution to fight climate change with your smartphone. When I was young, my father was a diplomat in the region, so I feel concerned about the situation of the RLC. So when I heard about the challenge, it was obvious that Iroko had to be part of the solution. Next slide. Thank you. Next slide. How we engage people with our mobile app. First, it's the accessibility. Because we are a global solution, the app is available in French, English, Spanish, Portuguese, and Arab, and also in Chinese. So we can also develop it in Russian. You can plant your trees in only 7 clicks and make change. Create your profile, monitor your carbon emissions, select your afforestation region, and then our forestry cooperative can plant your trees in Peru, Guatemala, France, and Canada, and why not on the shores of the RRC. Next slide. Behind our project, there are Canadian universities. It's important to us to work with scientists. You also have 10 forestry cooperatives, and also the Ministry of Economy and Innovation and Desjardins Bank, our 2 financial partners. Next slide. Our impact. We have a social, economic, and environmental impact. We capture carbon by planting trees. We implement equal salary for equal work according to the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Our tech solution can engage non-state actor companies with our carbon footprint software and citizens with our mobile app. We measure our impact through the Sustainable Development Goal. And next slide. This is the situation of the RLC today. You can play it. So it's dry, salinity, unemployment, and wind signs. So next slide. Our value proposition is using our solutions to engage 1 million people in the region to plant trees with their smartphone and improve knowledge on the RLC by gamification. We need to develop an agroforestry project on the shores of the lake in partnership with national universities and local forestry cooperatives. We want to develop a regional carbon market to generate sustainable incomes and invest those incomes in a local green fund to support companies in their ecological transition. Next slide. Next slide, please. Our approach is a mix of tech and natural solution. Why trees? Trees are have lots of benefits for the soil, and you have some benefits here. It's rain. Trees can bring rain, and we can trees also create jobs for many people. Next slide. So why the World Bank should consider Iroko? First, we are ready to implement the solution in the region. Our model can generate sustainable incomes. Our solution can be duplicated in other regions. I'm thinking about the Lake Chad. And thanks to our solution, we can engage companies and people who are part of the success. Next slide. We want to be part of the solution of the RLC in the RLC. It's really a big need for us, and we also need the investment to go faster and duplicate our concept around the world. Next slide. So remember that thanks to Iroko, we are today 7 billion solutions, and I invite you to download the app and make the change. Spasiba. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Saliu. Let's go straight to the questions, and I will ask Harsh to take the floor for first question.
Thank you very much. Always been a fan of a lot of the Iroko work. The question I have is who would be paying for this, again, in terms of a business model, for people to go do planting of trees and so on? How would they get the money? Where would it be coming from? And do you see this changing now that the climate for climate is looking better? Do you expect this to increase in terms of the availability of financing for being able to fund more tree planting around the world, especially in areas like this?
Okay, who pays? Today, the application is already used in 40 countries around the world, and the user every day download the app and pay to buy the carbon credits by planting trees. So we are now developing a carbon software with the Ministry of Economy and Innovation of Quebec. And with that software, the companies will pay to have their carbon footprint every year, and they will be able. It will be able for them to buy also carbon credit to reduce their environmental impact. So the model is already going on.
Okay, so what you're saying is now individual users who want to save the world pay for it, and soon there might be corporations or maybe even governments and others who can pay for these kinds of things and make these things happen. Where have you had your most success in terms of being able to demonstrate the value of such an app? Which part of the world?
Can you repeat the question, please?
Which part of the world have you had the most success in terms of actual planting trees on the ground?
Today we have most of the users are from France and Canada because our communication is focused on those two regions. But we have users in Africa, in Asia, but most of them are in France and Canada. And the carbon software that we will develop for next March 2022 will be developed for Quebec, Canada, and France for the first 2 years. And we have some companies who already contact us to know how to do the carbon footprint every year. So it's we have a potential market for a carbon footprint and also for a compensation program. So we have two ways to generate incomes and make more equity in the earth.
Great, thanks. I have a million more questions, but I don't want to make Menon angry. So back to you, Menon.
Thank you so much, Harsh and Saliu. That was an amazing discussion. I loved it. So it's time to go to our last team for today. And let us welcome the ROMS team. And the ROMS team aims at providing data collection for the RLC disaster on sustainable climate. And I would like to welcome Almas, who I think will be presenting today.
Okay, thank you. Let me share my screen at first.
Us, the floor is yours.
Yes.
Okay, there.
Can you see it? Hello everyone.
It's coming. Yeah. Can you? Good. You're ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay.
So, hello everyone. Let me start my presentation. My name is Almas Kitapayev. I'm a regional coordinator for Regional Research Network, naming TSAVA. And let me start at first describing the problem in the region. The problem is that in the early 1990s, after the collapse of the Soviet Union, the number of meteorological stations were closed due to the reduction in funding, which as a result of this, the gauging network for climate were reduced and significantly reduced the possibility of predicting development of processes of deflation of sun dust removal from the dried bottom of the Aral Sea. At the moment, there is no significantly grounded information about the impact of the water level fall and its impact of the weather and climate state of the surrounding areas. The only operating stations in the region, which are located in the Aralsk and Kazali cities and 3 other stations in the Uzbekistan, do not reflect the scale and dynamics of the aerosol removal from the dried bottom of the sea. So in this regard, there is an urgent need to establishment and development of the gauging network for climate and weather. So, and we can offer such solution. Let me just briefly introduce you our project. So TSAVA project, having been launched in 2008, have already made a great work in the region. So in the frame of the TSAVA project, already 10 stations, which are marked by green triangles on this map, were installed. The most of them were installed in the mountain areas and the middle streams, and we would need to cover, I mean, downstream, which will be Aral, as we are expecting, and this will be a great coverage from our point as well. So these data received from our stations will be freely available for any interested user through the sensor data storage system operated by Central Asian Institute of Applied Geosciences in Bishkek, and everybody can download and use it for their personal purpose and for their also studies as well. So remotely operated multi-parameter stations designed for operation in remote areas. They have independent power supply, they have real data transmission, and it is possible to control them remotely from any place in the world and maintain the software of the station if something will go wrong. At the moment, we have 2 stations in Almaty, which are ready to be installed in the Aral region, and we have already established our partners who will take care and protect these stations from vandals and other bad things in the future. And also clarify the locations for these 2 stations. The first location is directly on the dried bottom, in the place named Kaskakulan. Second one located in the lake of Balkhash in the eastern part of the Aral Sea. So this is our costs, what we are expecting. So we are requesting a bit more than $4,000 for our activities, and we are expecting that our stations will be, I mean, the data, real-time data received from our station, this will be a great motivation or great tool for the persons and other sites for taking measures in rehabilitation of the dried bottom of the sea, for land reclamation, for agricultural development of the region, as well as in addition for this, using this data could be a good platform for students and other scientists in the region. So, and I also want to add 2 points in the terms of innovations in our side. So the first point, where is the innovation in here? Innovation is that, you know, we all know that the climate data, so for having climate data, you have to pay in Central Asia, you have to pay for hydromet services. And our innovation is that you can take this data for free and for use for your personal purpose. And the second one, our data is the also good platform for people who are running these innovations. So that's all for today, very shortly. If you have any questions, please.
Thank you, Almas. Great project and presentation. Let me ask Lynn to come in with her question. Lynn, the floor is yours.
Hi, thank you for the presentation. Very nice project. So I think you're very much focused on the scientific side. I would like to understand when you know, if we gave you the money, how do you make it a business? What is your business model?
So we are not promoting here business, we are promoting data. So we are not going to gain something from this project, but we are ready to deliver this data who will run their business, who will run their scientific studies here. This will, I mean, the demand for the climate and weather data is very big in the region, and every scientific work and every scientific idea stops on the lack of data. So this is the big project.
So this is a charity project?
Kind of, yeah.
Okay, clear.
Thank you, Lynn. Let's move to Dr. Shukrata Tajanov.
Thank you for the presentation. Interesting project. I have a question for, what will be the next step? I mean, it's not business project, as you said, how will be maintaining the technology which collects data. I think in order to, they work, somebody or group of people have to maintain the technology. And also the second question, how would be dissemination of the project? I mean, scientists and students, in order to use this project, how will they find out about this project? Thank you.
Okay, thank you for a question. So we have a team for, I mean, so let's say for remote maintenance, as I said before, these stations equipped with GSM and satellite receivers, so you can remotely have access to the software of the station if something will go wrong, and you can I mean, work on these errors. And secondly, and physically, so they will be protected by our partners so they will be secure and yeah, on the safe side. I mean, we have the team in Central Asian Institute of Applied Geosciences who will work on the I mean, on remote maintenance, as well as our partners in Germany, and physically on the ground, they will be carried out by our partners in the region.
Thank you.
And
I see we have 1 minute.
Second question about the dissemination. So as I said before, our project is running, have been running from 2008. We have a very good experience here. We are already disseminating our project. So mainly most of scientific institutions, hydromet services of Central Asia already knows about it.
This is great. So I guess we don't have time for another question right now, but I think that was an amazing set in any case. Thank you so much, Almas. Very nice presentation. So, dear participants, I think we are now at the end of our 4th category challenge day. And I think on my end, that was a really exciting session. Very interesting projects have been selected, and really good job, everyone. Thank you to our jury members who took the time and energy to participate today and give their views. And please note that you will have results on Friday for the grand final. This is the exciting moment when we will announce the winners of the whole challenge per category. So don't forget to attend. We also have tomorrow side events from the region with a Central Asia friendly time. So I'm really sorry for those who won't be able to participate in on the US time or Canada time. But don't hesitate to register. These are very interesting events on youth engagement and eco-business in Central Asia. There will be a cultural as well session and a networking event at the end of the day in a friendly time for all the participants. Don't forget to register for that as well. And I think the team will send you the information later on. I might give the last word to my colleague, actually, Jorit, who is as well online.
Yes, thank you, Manon. I think you said most of it. I just want to say that I'm very impressed. These participants have been selected out of 150 proposals, so they already were the very best. Then over the last weeks, they have been preparing their pitches, and I have had the honor to attend that together with the team and see how much they improved. So I'm very proud of all of them. And today, everybody did so great. So that's very exciting to see. And yes, as Manon said, please join us in the other events. We're not yet finished. So tomorrow and on Friday, we will continue to entertain you. And I think that, yeah, as Manon said, thank you very much to the jury members and those that joined us early. I'd also thank you very much, Manon, for moderating this session. And I think we have to thank also the team that's behind this, because it's actually quite hard to manage these sessions online with all the technology. And I would say, let's see each other in the RLC region, because after these 4 sessions, I've been very excited about it, and I think it will be a great holiday destination. After COVID is over, you can find me there on the beach. And if everything goes well, the beach will be closer to the villages again after all our solutions are implemented. So thank you all very much.
Thank you, Jorit, and thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Thank you.
Oh, yes, team, before we leave.
So
for those who are still online, let's have a picture.
Okay.
let's put our cameras on. Yeah, wait a second. Okay. 1, 2, 3. And another one. 1, 2, 3. Good. Thank you.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Well,
Thanks,
good.
everybody. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye, everyone. Thank you.